Course, your man Diamond K coming at you from the Radio on Fire studios. So much going on in the world. Good, bad, and the ugly. This video out of Buffalo, which shows cops brutalizing an elderly man. Just disturbing. It is so ironic. Many things about this video. We're going to talk about that, as well as Baltimore election officials are not counting ballots. We're going to talk about that. It's the debacle of this election. It is very disheartening. Very disheartening. The state of things days after the election is come and gone. But we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a new initiative here. The city is aiming to hire about 300 people left jobless by the coronavirus. And they're going to be doing some big things, helping the community, the people that are hired. So we're gonna talk about that. Of course, your man Diamond K in here, and I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I don't know where to start. But I think we're gonna probably need to start with this video. So, disturbing footage. First of all, if you remember yesterday, there was some footage that highlighted some Buffalo cops kneeling down at City Hall, and they're supposedly showing or attempting to show some solidarity with protesters, right? They're attempting to show some solidarity with protesters, and they are kneeling down, right? This is right near City Hall in Buffalo. So what is ironic about this? What is ironic about it is that the location of this stunt that the police of Buffalo did yesterday is the same exact location that today they brutalized an elderly man in this very disturbing footage. Man is walking over to the officers and attempting to say something to them, but they are in a hurry. They are on the move, and they shove this a senior citizen. They shove this senior citizen to the ground. He hits his head on the ground. Like, mind you, I said he fell backwards. So he falls backwards, hits his head on the ground. His ear, there's blood pouring out of his ear. One officer attempts to render some kind of aid and check on the guy, and he is pushed along by another officer. And they go to grab someone who has a Black Lives Matter sign. It is daytime. It wasn't curfew, but they're clearing the area. And as they rush past this guy, step right past him, if that is not appalling enough, the guy is taken in an ambulance and taken to the hospital. But initially, of course, the commissioner tries to say that, he fell on his own. The guy fell on his own, right? You can clearly see in the footage, in the video footage, it is clearly shown that he is pushed by the officers and uh, their first thought, the first reaction is to lie. First reaction is to lie. Now, sources say that officers have been suspended. 2 officers have been suspended, according to the police commissioner, right? The elderly guy, if you were wondering, has concussion, bare minimum. He has some lacerations, and it appears that he is going to be okay. But what is so disturbing about this video, this happened on video. They tried to lie about it on video. Imagine how many instances we have where there is no video. And you constantly hear me talk about that. Of course, we don't want a society without police, but we want a society without these corrupt police. Okay. The good police officers have to call out these bad ones. And there are good officers out there. So I don't want to sit here and act like they're not, because there are good officers out there, definitely. But when you talk about the bad apple philosophy, that it's just one bad officer, sorry about that, that type of thing. It is definitely a culture. There's a system in which this bad behavior thrives and is rewarded, constantly rewarded. That is what has to be phased out. The first instinct of the officers is to lie. That's the first instinct. That's what we have to get rid of. That first instinct of lying on the citizens. That is what has brought a lot of strife to communities across this country. You may Dominic K in here. Of course, radioonfire.com. I am here daily giving you my thoughts on breaking news and trending topics. 12 noon, 7 p.m. We try to stick to those times. Sometimes life happens. Also, speaking of life happening, this Baltimore election, the Maryland election, but the Baltimore part, the way Baltimore has handled the election is utterly embarrassing. People need to lose their jobs. Multiple people need to lose their jobs, because the longer this thing is dragged out, the longer we don't have results, the longer we don't have winners declared, the more people just have no faith in the system. The election process, let's keep in mind, we still have a general election coming up in November. And they can't even handle people. The Baltimore election, squad, y'all can't even handle less than 200,000 votes, ballots. Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? You're really serious. Baltimore cannot handle 200,000 votes? Less than that. The mishandling of this election is a story in itself. It is a story in itself. Who is responsible? Multiple people responsible. It doesn't go to just one person. It doesn't just go to one person. So where are we at right now? They have stopped counting the ballots, As far as the mayor, city council, president, controller, they're not even worried about that right now. They're not worried about that because they're focused on one city council race. Right? We're going on 3 days after the election. The city still has no more than the earliest returns in the mayor's race. The earliest ones. The ones from the first night. Okay? They've counted ballots that were mailed in last week, plus the votes cast at 6 in-person sites on election day. And this just provides a very limited picture. We're not able to gather who the winners are. We don't know who the next leader of the city is going to be right now. Election officials say that they have not counted the ballots that arrived by mail since Saturday. Let me say that again. Baltimore city election officials say that they have not counted any ballots that came in the mail since Saturday. That was before election day. What's the excuse there? What's the excuse there? Any ballots that had been dropped, placed in the boxes this week, those haven't even been counted yet. So currently, they've counted just under 80,000 ballots in this in the Democratic primary, right? The city election director, Armstead Jones, could not say how many ballots had arrived that are still waiting to be counted. They haven't counted what's waiting to be counted. And of course, they haven't counted what's actually in there. Like, they don't know what came in. They don't know what the ballots say. They don't know anything. Election director Armstead Jones, like, how did he get this job, right? Who'd you sleep with to get this job, Mr. Jones? So here's what they're doing. They're scanning in stuff, and it leaves candidates who've worked hard, their teams who've worked hard, residents who want some type of stability. It leaves them in limbo. They don't know what's going on. And as I said, the longer this thing is delayed, the more that they fight against transparency. They can't answer questions. You ask questions about this one, oh, the lady that would know this one, oh, she's gone for the day. Gone? What do you mean gone for the day? Gone for the day. 4 p.m. She had to go, right? Who gets off at 4 p.m.? Nobody gets off at 4 p.m. I work way past 4 p.m. You probably work way past 4 p.m., right? This hooker gets off 4 p.m. and we don't even have votes counted yet. They haven't even counted votes that were mailed in before election day. So this attempt at a mostly mail-in election has been a disaster. You know, the president talks about election fraud. We don't have to worry about election fraud, right? We have some frauds perpetrating like election officials. That's what we have. We have some fraudulent election officials. You're not really election officials. You can't even count. So, as of yesterday, they didn't count any ballots. Today, they didn't count any ballots. They're doing a canvass, right? It's making up words. They're canvassing, right? When you canvass something, you just canvassing, right? This is something that you do before the election happens. You shouldn't be doing any canvassing when we're waiting for the results. So the canvassing that they've done is devoted strictly to City Council District 1. You heard us talking about that yesterday. So the state board reported incorrect returns due to a printing error on some ballots. So they did not count any additional votes for comptroller, for city council president, for the mayor's race. The most important election, results that we need, we don't have those because they're focusing on District 1, right? Focusing on District 1. So what are they doing? The election staff are starting the process of recreating all the vote by mail ballots cast in District 1. They started this today. One person reads off the votes, another one copies them onto a fresh ballot. This is what we're reduced to. You need to get some more people in. They talk about hiring some more people. Why don't you hire some people to come do this? I mean, I have to do your job for you? So you got candidates, they're pissed off. Residents of the city, they're pissed off. So far, the only returns available are based on ballots that voters delivered by mail or placed in the drop boxes early. Okay, another 3,800 votes cast in person. Of course, we know Dixon is currently leading with 30%. Brandon Scott is following with about 25%. And Mary Miller rounding out the top three with around 17%. So some ballots are still coming. Some ballots are still coming, and as long as they arrive by, they're postmarked by Tuesday and arrive by June 12th, they supposedly will be counted. So we don't have a number of the outstanding ballots. It's too soon to call any race. And then the extraordinary circumstances of people from different districts could vote anywhere, so we can't get an idea of what's out there that way. So we can't call a race. We are probably not going to know the results of the election until well into next week. Probably around anything after the 12th. That's like way past the deadline of certifying the results. So this is a debacle. This is a debacle. So the staff today finished the process of copying and rescanning 3,662 ballots in District 1 mid-afternoon, and then they just stopped. They said that there was not enough time left Thursday to begin counting more ballots. Oh, they were done for the day. They should be working nonstop until we have it counted, right? I mean, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So they are supposed to resume 9 a.m. on Friday, and they claim that they're going to work through the weekend. I don't believe it because they didn't count anything past Saturday last week, but now all of a sudden they got a sense of urgency. If there was a sense of urgency, they would still be working right now, having shifts. Amazon's still working. Having a late shift, you got an early shift. I'm not saying they got to work, dusk till dawn, but I'm saying you need to have multiple shifts. They got the money. They got the money for that. The Baltimore Elections Board's president, Bruce Lukansky, referred questions about the elections and its handling to Jones, who I talked about earlier. But the Board of Elections president, this Bruce guy, he needs to lose his job too. The whole kit and caboodle, all of them gone. This fool makes $104,000, according to state records. They have a 5-member board appointed by the governor, confirmed by the state senate. Really? Really? So we're going to definitely have to press for these people to be held accountable. This is why we have so many problems in the city. People getting these big 6-figure jobs, not doing what they're supposed to do. The process is flawed. The process is severely flawed. So voter rights, activists, all kind of groups, Black Girls Votes, the League of Women Voters, they're calling for the state elections administrator, Linda Lamone, to resign. Yeah, she needs to be out of here too. So it is critical for November's election to run more smoothly. And I don't think that they need to wait until November to get these fools out of here, these incompetent people out of here. They need to go now. They need to go now. So we're definitely going to keep following this Baltimore election nightmare. Any campaigns, they're having some sleepless nights. But it's not your fault. It's not your fault that these people are so hapless. You made Diamond K in here, Radio on Fire. It's the Diamond K Show. 2 times a day now, 12 and 7. We try to stick to those times. But regardless, radioonfire.com, also youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. So last story, Baltimore City is going to be hiring about 300 people. And city officials and the Rockefeller Foundation announced today a program that is going to be addressing economic and public health issues brought on by the coronavirus. So the Baltimore Health Corps will recruit, train, and employ more than 300 Baltimoreans who lost their jobs during this pandemic. So the Health Corps members will be deployed to support in contact tracing, public health education, outreach, care coordination, and social support in the city's most vulnerable neighborhoods. So here's a quote from Mayor Jack Young. He said that the Baltimore Health Corps is first of its kind because it will target hiring individuals who have recently lost their jobs due to the pandemic and live in communities hardest hit by COVID-19 as community health workers, including those without previous healthcare experience, the mayor said in a statement. So it was a $12.4 million program and is backed in part by a $2 million grant from the Rockefeller Foundation. The foundation is working with the city to build and recruit other partners. The city has committed $4.5 million in federal coronavirus relief to the program. And the city has more than $2.3 million in funding from other philanthropies and agencies. Ooh, a lot of money. Money just pops up. You know what I mean? Money just pops up out of nowhere. Really, really interesting how that happens. So you can get more information on this at baltimorecorps.org. So that is Baltimore, CORPS.org. So that is a good thing there. Good thing there. So we're going to be talking about that in the days and weeks to come. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. LinkedIn also, at the Diamond K Show. I will be back tomorrow, 12 noon, for more, giving you my thoughts, my views on breaking news, trending stories, trending topics. It's the Diamond K Show. For any past episodes, radiofire.com, or subscribe, youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. See you guys tomorrow.